Hi everyone, welcome to Tech Tuesdays. My name is Valentine Guerra and here alongside with Debra Pingel, we are your elementary instructional technology specialists, and today we're going to be doing this topic, which is using AI and training it to get automatic feedback and grading for your ECR passages from your students. We're going to go a little bit step by step on what are the key things that you need to do and get it ready. And we're going to be sharing with you some documents as well as some templates already created in Magic School under Magic Student as a chatbot. If you feel free to scan the QR code in here, you'll be able to follow along with the slides. And just to show you a little bit about things that you can do fun with AI, it's a little...
Hi everyone, my name is Valentine Guerra and I'm an Instructional Technology Specialist at PSJA. Today we're going to be learning about AI and how to create ECR auto grading and feedback. Enjoy and have fun.
A little bonito, having fun. So in here you can also click on that image in there and it gives you more of the things on how to talk to an AI, to a chatbot, and we call it AI PSJA. You select your AI tool. You make sure that you state your purpose. What is the voice that you want the AI to take, which is the speaker? Justify the length. So what is the length of the output? How many questions or how many words? A is the audience. Who is this intended to? For your students specifically right now. And if you're doing things for your students, go ahead and align it to a T. This will make it more purposeful for them. So in this training, we're going to be talking about how to prompt and how to create specific prompt with the prompt assistant tool at Magic School. We're going to also be talking about using Reina chatbot to do that. And then training Reina, or in this case today, we're going to be training a chatbot that is within Magic Student. And then you can also get ideas on how to create new passages from scratch, aligning it to either science or social studies, using the TEKs, and get more samples for your students to get more practice. So one of the things that I've been telling some of my teachers in our campuses is ECR is a huge topic that students need more help with. And to be able to give them help, they need more practice and they need to get better at writing and using that race strategy. To be able to do that, if you create a lot of practice for them as a teacher, then you're going to be spending a lot of time reading and grading. So use an AI chatbot as your assistant to allow you to grade it and rate it for them, provide you automatic feedback, what are the things that the students needs, and give you that score from the rubric, from STAR or from TEA. Now, a lot of the documents that are needed, that will be provided to you in a Google file, a Google folder. And in there are the rubrics for informational and for argumentative for both English and Spanish. And then there's a sample passage with a sample prompt already in there, and that's in folder. So let's start. So the purpose of using Reina is to optimize the prompts and to get that feedback automatic. And specifically for benchmark 1, we use it for some campuses so they can get a second tier of eyes to rate their own assessment. You can use this for benchmark 2 and get yourself some feedback on how you're rating and see if you needed to assess. But always remember that you are the rater and the AI is not 100% right all the time. But it's good to get a different perspective and look at that feedback that is provided. In this slide, you can get the documents that we're using and also the prompts. So let me show you real quick here. How does that look like? So the prompts in here. This is what I created with the Magic School Prompt Assistant tool. And it will allow you to create and put in words what you want, but then it will make it better for the prompt to be perfect when you're doing it and using it with the chatbot. So what I created was, what I put it in my head was the purpose, this one over here. Let me open it again in Adobe. And this is what I want to be able to help my students and grade the extended constructive response answers. I will provide you with the passage, the prompt questions provided to the students, but also will give you the STAR rubric and everything like the race strategy that the students are taught to be able to answer these questions. Now, I want you to think that the responses are for students in 3rd grade and the writing will reflect that. And use the rubric and make sure that you know that it's in 2 sections, that you have the organizational development of ideas, which is 0 to 3, and then you also have the conventions, which is 0 to 2, with a maximum score of 5. So this is how I typed it. And then in the prompt assistant, it generated something even better. As an expert educational assessment specializing in elementary education, evaluate 3rd grade student extended constructive responses answers based on the following criteria and keeping in mind age-appropriate expectations for 8 to 9-year-old writers. As the following, for the following items. So I want the AI chatbot to ask for the following items, which will be the passage, the prompt, and then the official rubric, either the argumentative or the informational. And make sure that the rubric, that you understand that there's 2 parts of that rubric. Then also there's the strategy, the race strategy that the students were taught to use to be able to answer these type of questions. Now for each student, I want you to assess how well they use the race strategy. And I think this is great feedback for you as a teacher and also for the student if you create this chatbot for them to utilize. And it gives them automatic feedback where they can retype their response and get another response. Then give them the score, but both rubrics, 0 to 3 and 0 to 2 for conventions and organ development of ideas, and provide specific feedback highlighting what are the strengths and what areas of improvement they need. Suggest targeted ways that I can help them or that they can help themselves that are developmentally appropriate, and provide a final combined score from 0 to 5 from both parts of the rubric. Now I did the same thing in here. I edited a little bit for 4th grade and I edited a little bit for 5th grade, just with the ages. Everything else is the same. And in the documents in here, you will get the other types. This is a folder that I will be sharing with you as well. So the passage for the salamander, the prompt, the race strategy, and I also asked Reina, the chatbot, I uploaded the race template and to provide an exemplar, an explanation of what the template means. So I want to provide more information. The more information I provide, the better responses that the feedback that you're going to be getting it's going to be. So with the chatbot or with the constructive chatbot and Magic Student, it's going to streamline that start line extended constructive sports grading, allowing you to give your students automatically the feedback on how they wrote using the race strategy with the rubric, and specific on that passage and specific on that passage prompt. When we train, we need to make sure that we add all of these documents to the chatbot. So we need to make sure that the passage is there, the prompt is there, the rubric, make sure that the passage is informational or argumentative and provide the correct rubric in there. And then also the race strategy. And if you want to be a little bit more in depth, provide an explanation of the race strategy, which will show you what the rationale is that provide, and I'm providing all this for you. So in the folder, you will see ECR template rationale, and it looks like this. So the usage of the ECR template is do write the question, answer the question, cite evidence, explain, and then you can the CG, and then you conclude it. It gives you all the information on example structures, and this was created just as an explanation from the chatbot itself by providing that ECR template. The ECR template that was provided by Carla is this one. I uploaded this template and I just asked it to explain it to me. So the template is what the students use and they're familiar to this, but I want it to create a better explanation to the chatbot itself when I'm training it, when I'm giving all the feedback that we need. So remember, the RACE strategy is restate the question, answer the question, cite the evidence, and explain the evidence. And here is direct links to the informative and argumentative documents that are in this same folder. And now we're going to go into Reina, and I'm going to show you how it was created in Magic School Magic School. So once you're in Magic School, if you have not used it before, take some time to familiarize yourself. In here, I already selected as one of my star favorites, the prompt assistant. And this is where I put all of my thoughts of what I wanted. I wanted that help from the chatbot, and then it make it perfect so it is more defined and more on target of what I want as feedback. So we're going to go to Launch Student. If you've never created a room, you're going to create a new room here. But I'm just going to open the third grade English EMI benchmark that I'm going to share with everyone. And I'm going to go in here and edit the room. So when we were doing this for the teachers, I didn't want them to worry about creating the chatbot in the background. So they were pretending to be students and get scores from their student submissions themselves. So I will always tell you, if you're using this with your students, a 250 is okay, but I did learn that if I had several teachers trying to use it, I had to up it to 2,000 because there was a lot of people trying to use this tool. I named it what I wanted it to be, which was Benchmark 1, because I used the passage and the prompt from Benchmark 1. And then I just make sure that I put it third grade level because that's the writing that the students are there. Only one tool was used for this, which is this one over here, and you will see it, is the writing feedback. And of course, after that, I edit it. So once we're here, we're going to customize that, and I'm going to name it, which is the third grade Benchmark 1 ECR English. And I give it some instructions. So provide your student responses because this is where the teachers came. So you as a teacher, you can provide the instructions for your students however you want. You can say, please provide your response of your ECR for the salamander in here. And all they see in here is what the students will see because I have a lot of the documentation and a lot of the wording hidden. So neither the teacher had to get confused, but for you, it will be your students. They don't have to see any of the rubrics in there. They only need to see this part, which is where they will plug in their feedback, their response. And I put in here, provide student responses to get score and feedback. Use it as an assistant and rater. So don't take it with a grain of salt. Make sure that you read. You are the rater, so read, and if you disagree, grade accordingly. You can select the voice if you want your students to be read to. If you're going to be using this with your students, you can use any of the voices that are here. Select the grade level. We already selected it before, so it defaults here to third grade. And anything that you see here that has the I, if you unhide it, it will show over here. So my suggestion is hide it, because you don't need your students be switching anything in here. The assignment is that teachers will pay student responses to get score and feedback from the rubric and RACE strategy. So in here, you can provide, students will provide their response after reading a passage and answering a question prompt. In here, I added all the documentation. I added the ECR template rationale, which is the RACE strategy that I provided in here. It's the explanation of the RACE strategy. I also added the RACE strategy template, which is this one that was provided to me by Carla, our ELA coordinator for elementary. And then I added the argumentative TEA star rubric. And this one is already in here as well as part of one of the folders we have. And we have the star informational and the star argumentative, and then the Spanish versions of them are down here. So you don't even have to look for them. I will provide them with you with a link at the end of the training, so you have access to this folder. Additionally, I put the paired benchmark 1 passage, and in here, the benchmark what was provided to me, I had to separate what was provided. So I did that so the teachers didn't have to do that work of separating a PDF and just provide the exact reading passage. The same thing with the question. I just provided the question in here. And then in here, any additional instructions for the feedback that I want, I provided that as an expert educational assessment specializing in elementary education. And that was that prompting that was given to us by the chatbot when I asked it what I wanted. So this is the prompt. I just copied, and you will have access to these. I just copied this and pasted it in here. And like I said, I hit everything that is in the left-hand side that I don't want anybody to mess with, so your students don't have to mess with it. I leave this here open just if they want to go ahead and type their response in here. But if you hide it, it's okay. When they type generate, it will ask for their response anyway. So I will go next. And this is it. And I save it. So I'm going to update the room. I really didn't even change anything. But I'm going to show you some of the sample responses that were here. So if you go in here, you can see what your students are responding by clicking in here. Let me see the thread. So it knows everything that we provided, the feedback, all the documentation, and the grade level, the description of the assignment, and everything. So now that I put it in there, this is the response that this teacher gave. Where was it? You can keep on post-prompted to provide you the score. Sometimes it might not give you the score automatically, but it doesn't. You do know that the information is there. So it provides you a score 0 out of 5, and it gives you the rationale in there. Now let me go to another response, maybe that it was different. In this response, it doesn't give me what they actually pasted. So it pasted after here, and then it gives you thank you. It gives you the areas of growth. And then it provides you the score afterwards after you prompted. So in here, it's giving more information about the students, more answers that the students provided, and it's giving you in here the scores, the areas of growth, the general feedback. This was a 2 out of 3 and a 1 out of 2, so it's a 3 out of 5. There's a seconds response, which is also providing in here the what areas of growth are needed, some of the feedback on writing and mechanics. And if you don't see, for example, hey, please provide me feedback on the usage of the race strategy, you can always post prompt. So what I want us to do, we're going to go back into the presentation. It's a little pricey here. I want us to go ahead and scan this. Let me give you the resource. Let's go ahead and get into Raina ourselves and create one with the salamander passage in there. So we can do it step by step. So again, we're going to go to Launch Students. And we're going to launch a new room. We're going to put sample salamander passage, 4th grade, English, benchmark 1. So I'm going to change it to the grade level to 4th grade. I'm going to keep it at 250. The tool again is the writing feedback tool, and it's the only one that we're going to use it. We don't want to provide the students with more tools that they're not going to be using because they'll get distracted. And once we customize it, this is, we can leave it writing feedback. It's just the tool itself, and it will provide feedback on student. Well, I'm going to put this as my students are going to be reading. Please submit your response to the prompt after reading the passage and using the race strategy. The description of the assignment is, I will say something to hide. Students will provide their response to the attached passage and prompt. You will help us score and provide feedback on the attached rubric and the usage of the race strategy. If I'm not mistaken, in here we're going to add from Google Drive. Let me see if it will be easier from here. No, I'm going to add it from here. Upload it. I'm going to go to my Google Drive in here. Trainings. And then, like I said, this is an informational rubric. So I'm going to add the English informational, the salamander passage and the prompt, the race template, the ECR, which is the race rationale, and that's it. I'm going to open it. And those are all the documents that we need. Now, if we create this once already, you can duplicate it, for example, to do benchmark 2. And all you need to do is just switch the passage and the prompt, or even for next year, just switch the passage, the prompt, and of course, if it's switched from an informational to an argumentative passage, you're going to need to change the rubric as well. In here on additional feedback, I'm going to go ahead and grab the prompt that it created, which is this one over here. And because we're doing 4th grade, I'm going to grab the 4th grade wording. Feel free to follow along if you want, or I'm just going to show you and then we're going to do and run it ourselves. As you can see on the right-hand side, they can see still the rubric and the feedback and the additional comments. Let's remember to hide it. We want to make sure that they're not taking things off, so it's not going to allow them to get feedback on it. So just like this is perfect. And then we have this. So what I'm going to do now, I do have some samples responses from benchmark 2 of last year, I believe. And let me see if I have them somewhere here as well. Let me see, sample, where are my samples? It might be not on here. Let me open it up here and see if I find it. Oh, here it is. So here are some samples of Edward's aquifer. So this is a score of 4. And I'm going to just copy it. And this, I'm just going to test it out. I'm going to generate it. And let's see what scores it provides us. The errors and things included relevant evidence from the text, specifically when you mention the aquifer, underground and described. So this is the feedback that the students will be getting by creating the chatbot, the customized chatbot itself. So once they read this, they get a total score of 2 out of 5. To improve your score, try using the race strategy more deliberately, restate the question clearly, answer completely about the aquifier's importance, cite strong evidence about both the salamander and human uses, explain how to... So all this information was done like that. So I'm going to save it, and I'm going to launch the room. So the easiest thing now is this is how you share with your students. You can add it into Google Classroom, or you can just copy the join link and paste it in Google Classroom. So I'm going to go ahead and, oh, I forgot to put the drive before. I just pasted it, so you have it in there. So now here is the Magic student, so you can join in. Type whatever you want so you can see the feedback. If you remember anything about the Edwards Aquifer, go ahead and do so. But if not, I'm going to provide you one example and type it in there just so you see. Of course, the responses, the score should be pretty much the same, but the feedback can be just a little bit different because it's pretending to be a chatbot that is reading and using a rubric. So the feedback should be pretty similar. Now the wording can be a little bit different depending on how you do it. So go ahead, have fun with it right now before I go to the end. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to myself and Debbie Pingel. We're here to help you out and show you how to do these trainings, how to do this for yourself. And like I said, this was recording at the beginning, so you will have this as watch it again anytime you want. And you'll have access to that folder so you can do it yourself. Now, in that same folder, you will have access also to the templates for benchmark 1. And why is that important? Because you can grab those templates that I'm sharing with you. And it's this Google Doc. You click on it, and it will take you to that chatbot that I was just using right now. And it will create a template in your own Magic student. So you will add that, and then you can just edit the passages. Everything in there is already added and given to you. All you need to do with these templates is change the passage and change the prompt, and if needed to, change the rubric from informational to argumentative or vice versa. Because I believe there was one that was argumentative in this benchmark 1. I will try to recreate this with benchmark 2 information data and share with all of you. But if you want to start playing it and start giving your students with more opportunity to write ECRs and you don't have to grade it, use it right now. Now going back to the presentation. Go ahead and scan in. Here is a little gamified area where you will provide me a script phrase, and the first person to send me will be a door prize. Go ahead and scan it. A couple questions. Still have 2 minutes. Right.
Val, we can't hear your instructions with the music.
Okay, I muted already. So feel free to ask any questions right now. Click on this exit ticket with your phone or tablet. Go, and this is a gamified version game that you can answer 4 questions and you'll get the secret passcode. Once you get the secret passcode, send it directly to me so not everybody else sees it. Or you can just type it here. The first person who type it will be the one who will be winning our door prize. Again, if there's any questions, unmute yourself, ask them right now, or type them. Thank you so much for listening. And don't forget to sign in using code PSJA Tech on the professional development system.
Can you put the QR code back up or the link in the chat in case anybody didn't get a chance to scan it?
Yes. Thank you, Debbie. So feel free to unmute yourself if there are any questions.